All right, y'all, it's the end of the year and it's time to talk about what were my favorite palettes of 2023. So let's go ahead and get started. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So once again, it is time to talk about my favorite palettes of 2023. So this year has flown by and I have done my count, and I'll talk about that in another video. You can see how many palettes I came out with in 2023. I did better, y'all. I did better, okay? But these are my favorite. I would say there were, I don't know, there were some disappointments and then there were some great ones, but you know, these are the ones that I liked, okay? So hopefully y'all don't hear all this extra background noise. My mic is extra sensitive, so I will try to edit it out, but I have my little heater going on over here. Honey, it is -3 outside and it feels like -22, okay? Tomorrow's gonna be 14 degrees and I'm looking forward to 14 degrees, okay? So you know we have, I didn't know that snowstorms had names. Like I knew hurricanes have names, but this is Winter Storm Elliott. So the Midwest has Winter Storm Elliott during the Christmas break. It has messed up all the travel. We were supposed to have like a blizzard and then freezing, but we didn't get that much snow, but we got all the cold. Whatever. Let me introduce myself. So if you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. And please just call me Ash or Ashley, and eyeshadow is my jam. It is one of my most favorite things to talk about. So we're talking about eyeshadow today, okay? And I'm just talking about how freaking cold it is outside. All right, anywho, so I don't have these in any particular order. I didn't count how many I have here. I just literally said these are the palettes that I enjoyed the most this year. So I'm just gonna pick it up and I'm gonna start talking about them. So let me tell you something. I love this little palette. I need to use it more, and I'm so salty when it comes to this brand, okay? So this is the Royal Peacock palette by Tammy Tenuka, or inspired by Sigil. And the color story is just so beautiful, and it's great if you've never even tried Tammy Tenuka Sigil Spider. I'm sorry, and I'll tell you why I'm salty in a moment. But the quality is impeccable, and the way they do the launches, they like have these eggs, and like you see a shade, and then maybe, you know, a few months later you'll see a shade until the whole palette comes to fruition, and like the egg is hatched and you have the animal. So you know the animal beforehand, but you have to wait for it to hatch. So it's like waiting to see what the palette's gonna look like. And this is the Royal Peacock palette by Tammy Tenuka, and the quality is just amazing. It's fabulous. It's so good. So I'm salty because Tammy Tenuka is a Russian indie brand. So, you know, the climate is not great because of what is going on in the Ukraine, and maybe about this palette launch. So I was able to get this palette, but it was another palette that was basically kind of like almost stuck in limbo or caught in transit, but I did get it. Once the war broke out, I paid for it, and then the war broke out, and she was able to send it through Russian post. But now, you know, all of the American companies have divested and they have pulled out of Russia. So there's no way for her to accept payment. So she's not able to send us the shadows. But I love this palette this year. I'm so glad I finally got a chance to try Tammy Tenuka, because it had been on my list and I kept waiting and waiting and never trying it. And it had been a couple of years that I've been looking at this brand and never gave it a go. And finally did, and now I can't even purchase anymore. So my palettes from her are very special. But besides all of that, the quality is just amazing. I would almost compare, not almost, I would compare it to like Pat McGrath, honestly. Okay, another favorite palette for sure was the Adept Cosmetics and Heather Austin palette. This palette was super solid all the way around. As soon as I saw the color story, I was like, yes, just come on, give it to me. Heather, you did an amazing job on this palette. I've been seeing this pop up all over for the best in 2023, and I think that she really does deserve it. It is a super solid palette, okay? You have beautiful multi-chromes, you have beautiful shimmers, you have really great mattes, you have something more neutral, you got something in the low bold family, because you know she loves a bold look, she loves a neutral look, she just loves eyeshadow just like me. And I don't think you can get any better than this. You got daytime looks, you got nighttime looks, you got festive looks, you got everyday going to work looks. You just have it all coupled with the Adept Cosmetics. Wonderful formula. I think like this one, sometimes I feel like it could just build up a little bit more, but overall the mattes are solid. The shimmers are super solid. Adept Cosmetics is definitely known for their shimmers. And the color story is just gorgeous. And I liked how she just laid it all out. It just really makes sense. And she did a fabulous job. I've been using this palette all year. I really enjoy it. I think like I've told this a couple of times before, the only shade that sometimes it's like, for me, it's not, but it just gives me a little problems trying to lay it down. And I don't feel like the longevity is as great as the other ones. Is this shade Scrubs, because as you can see in my palette, it does that little wavy thing that I always do when the shadow you press down and it just kind of moves on you. So it can just make it a little bit harder to apply. But overall, super solid, super beautiful color story. Love it. All right, next up is the Apocalypse palette by Klarity Cosmetics. This palette came in and stole my heart, and it was the Halloween palette that I just didn't realize that I need without giving Halloween, but giving Halloween at the same time. And this palette was actually just supposed to be limited edition, and they ended up having to bring it back a couple times. So the artwork is beautiful. As I talk about with Klarity, the only thing is like, it's just the large pan sizes, but they are changing that coming into the new year of 2024. So I'm very excited to see what they have coming. And look at this color story. This color story is so unique, so innovative, so fun, carefree, really pushes your creativity, and really beautiful and quality shadows at the same time. The multi-chromes in here are like, oh my gosh. And I would say that maybe this one and this one is a multi-chrome that we've basically seen before, but it performs so beautifully, and with this color story, it's just like you can't compete. This orange is amazing. I love this orange paired with this kind of terracotta orangey matte. I think it's really gorgeous because you actually don't usually see a lot of mattes that are this color. You know, you'll get orange or you'll get like more brown orange, but this is just giving like that burnt orange color. And I'm all about that color. That's like one of my favorite colors to wear, especially in terms of lipsticks or blushes. So to have it in an eyeshadow is really fun as well. And it has a gray matte. Y'all know I love a gray matte. The gray matte is like, you know, my friend that I don't get to see a lot of times, but as soon as I get to see that person, you know, we pick up like nothing else has happened. That's how I feel about gray matte, okay? So I just feel like this color story is beautiful. Like I said, they had to like do another pre-order on this palette, and then I feel like they had a couple more hanging around. Fabulous. So I did order the Croc palette for Black Friday, but they are such a small brand. They said that they are just inundated with orders, which is like a great thing because, you know, people are supporting the business, but then it's like, that palette was Black Friday. It wasn't a pre-order. Come on, y'all. But then they did explain that they also live in a small town and that the post office can't also keep up with the amount that they're shipping out as well. So I guess y'all see the Croc palette in 2024 because I really thought I would have it by now, but I don't. Oh, so these two right here. This is a newer release, but I think they have come in, they have stolen my heart, and I know like a lot of people on these YouTube streets are feeling these palettes as well. Yes, the Christmas Eve and the Merry Christmas palette, Gorgeous by Oden's Eye Cosmetics. So I hope that they bring these back next year because a lot of people really wanted to get their hands on these. I was not playing. I was able to get these on, you know, the first pre-order. I do not play. Sometimes when I see things, I'm like, look, that's what I want. I'm going to be logged on. I'm going to get it, okay? I'm going to try not to forget. I'm going to set an alarm, do whatever I need to do to remember to get my palettes. And I'm also thankful that I was able to get these palettes. And it's not like a brag or anything because I know sometimes you just forget, and it's happened to the best of us. It's happened to me before, okay? I can't get it. I can't open it. I can't get it out the sleeve. That's probably what I get. Child, what is happening here? Woo, there we go. Okay, because it's just a sleeve and the artwork is amazing. That's why I also love it. Because look at this, just the reflect. It's beautiful. And it's the same way on the palette. So this is the Christmas Eve palette. And at first when I saw it, I feel like I liked the Merry Christmas one the best, but I have really been enjoying this one too. And I like blue shadows, but I mean, this is just a gorgeous palette. I feel like the color story, you can just like wear it any time of the year, wear it all winter long. It doesn't necessarily read Christmas. I feel like it can go into the spring also with some of these pastel blues, and you mix it with a little bit of maybe the, you know, the gold or this beautiful, gorgeous shade, and you have looks that you could go for all year. And then we have the sister palette, which is the Merry Christmas palette, which is very beautiful. It's also, okay, well, I guess that sleeve will come out easily. So, this is the palette right here. Really beautiful, super festive. Screams Christmas, but also screams like, okay, I can go through the rest of winter. I can get through spring also. I can do a little bit of the summertime and then right back into the fall and Christmas season again. So I love these shades. The reds in here are so beautiful. It kind of gives a more neutral look, even though it's a little bit more bold. And you pair with this and this, you got a more neutral look. You got the beautiful duochrome in this particular palette as well. You have unique matte shades. So overall, I'm just really thrilled with the color story of these. Really excited to have these because, especially because Oden's Eye last year, they had like the legendary Diversa collection, which was some of my favorite palettes. Now, Angelica Niquitz did have a palette this year, and I liked it, but it just wasn't one of my favorites. I feel like this particular collection just spoke to me more, but Oden's Eye quality is just amazing. So if you haven't tried them, I would definitely put them on your list to try in 2023. Did I say 24 earlier? I feel like I said 24. Going to 2023. Okay. Oh, this is a newer palette, but love. Been loving it. Been wearing it all the time, okay? I recently just posted a look on my Instagram. I went to a black tie affair and I used my Rose, Divine Rose 2. Then I jumped in and decided that I wanted a little darker matte right here. And then I also popped in with my Terra Moons, the Cosmos. But this is the Blends Bunny All Done Up palette. I absolutely love this color story. I love how it's a little bit more truncated from her, and that we just get some really grungy, unique, neutral mattes, you know what I mean? So I feel like this palette, you can go out on the town, you could do nice enough smoky, you know, smoky eyes that are daytime appropriate. I took this palette with me to homecoming. I just did some matte looks that just worked so well throughout the whole day. And I'm not usually, y'all know I'm all about the sparkle, about the shimmer, about the shine, but it's something about the Blends Bunny palette that just makes me like, you know what? I'll do an all matte look. And you might say like, oh, these are so light, but that's what I'm saying. You put these shades on in the crease, you pop one of these on the lid, and you have the most bomb, beautiful matte looks ever. These shades work. They're also great to kind of blend out some of these deeper shades. Like I say, you could do inner corner highlights. You could use them as a lid shade. And I just feel like there's so much versatility in these palettes. This one I feel like is a lot different from the other palettes that she has given us. She's given us quite a few colorful ones. So I was just really thoroughly pleased. The shimmers are very nice in this particular palette too. She has updated her shimmer formula. Very smooth, very opaque, has long longevity. It's just a nice, solid palette, okay? And then you got a mirror. You can't beat it. And then she released some lipsticks with this also. Love those lipsticks as well. So since we're talking about Blends Bunny, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. This is the Dollhouse palette. Now, technically, this palette did actually release in 2021, okay? But it was the very, very end, so I didn't get it until 22, and she was so kind to send this to me. But when she sent it to me, or well, basically when I received it, I had COVID, and I had a bad case of COVID. So even though I was vaccinated and boosted, I had a bad case of COVID, and I was sick for about 3 weeks. So it was maybe like halfway into January by the time I got a chance to play with this. But I've been playing with this palette all year long, okay? One of my favorites by her. So it's like basically like Surge, Dollhouse, all done up at this particular point. But this was the neutral. And I mean, I have just had so much fun. I reach into this palette so much for my mattes. I also use these shimmers. The shimmers are beautiful. They're different. They're unique. You have 2 rows of shimmers in this particular palette. So you have your more lighter ethereal shades and your kind of deep dark shades right here. This is a beautiful shade that I love so much. I love this little purple row. I love this little more maroony plum row, rose row, all of them actually. I dig into this palette so much. Anytime I want like a matte, I want to wear like some of my Terra Moon shades, I'm like, I'm coming here because I have everything that I want, okay, and need and more in this particular palette. So beautiful. So I have definitely went in and used this. And this row might seem kind of light, but don't be fooled. It's the same type of setup. You can put it on the crease. You can blend out the deeper shades. You can do inner corner highlights. You can put it in the lid. But it works. I don't have any problem. And then you start building the progression with these shadows and you definitely get to see the gradient with them, which is what I appreciate when it comes to Blend Buddies shadow. So this right here is the Glaminatrix Nearly Natural palette. Y'all don't even understand. I call this palette Nearly Neutral since the moment I saw the palette, when I got the palette, all through the video, when I demoed the palette, literally. But you know, it's a really stunning neutral palette. These rose gold tones are amazing. The mattes are beautiful. I would say that my one complaint with this particular palette is that I wish I had a matte that was a little bit warmer or a little bit deeper than these two right here, because they kind of read the same on my complexion, and you have this one and it's a little bit too deep. But other than that, I have no problem with this palette. Beautiful, beautiful shimmers. If you just want like a palette where you have something neutral on the eyes, you just want to throw something on the eyes, this right here, it's for you, like for sure. And I talk about this all the time. I feel like this palette really is like an updated version of the Urban Decay Naked 3. Y'all remember that rose gold one? It was beautiful when it came out, but it's kind of dated itself. It was a little bit ashy. Not a little bit. Look, y'all, it was just ashy, okay? If you were to look at the left side of the palette, that palette was ashy, okay? Because even when the moment I got that palette, I was only able to use from the middle to the right, and that's usually the case when it comes to Urban Decay Naked palettes. But this palette, it's not ashy, okay? It's going to look great on you no matter what your color is or your complexion is. So I really appreciate that. And it looks like these shimmers look the same, but they're not. You kind of have more silver, opal type of shimmer. You have, you know, your rose gold with the more silvery finish. You got your more coppery, bronzy rose gold. You got straight up rose gold, a little lighter baby pink. You got a little mix of olive. You got like a nice, you know, silver. It's just a beautiful palette. A beautiful neutral palette, okay? Done correctly. Exciting. It's going to look beautiful in your eyes. You know, just has the right amount of dance across the lids. It's like I said, I wore it so many times when I first got it because I was just like, you know what? Like, this is a neutral palette I can get behind. Now, this palette is super fun and House of L, okay? This is Adept Cosmetics, her ode to Superman, and I can't wait to see what she has coming out. Oh, I was like, oh, it looks like three rows of shimmers and some mattes, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited. And the packaging's different, but this is really cute. It was like the cutest little 9-pan palette, and the color story is just bomb. Now, you have beautiful multi-chrome shimmers that we know Adept Cosmetics is used to. You have a different play on Superman. It's not like just straight up blues and reds, but you have the most luscious reds and oranges and this beautiful rose gold and the icy blue. And you have these fun mattes. Now, if these mattes are not really your jam, guess what? You can mix and match. You can pull out, you know, your Blends Bunny palette. You know, you can pull out any type of palette. Maybe you got the Nearly Neutral palette, Nearly Natural. I mean, I really think this palette is called Nearly Neutral. It should be called Nearly Neutral. Kayla, it should be called Nearly Neutral. It's not that. I can't. I'm not the only person who thought that. Other people have told me that they thought that palette was called Nearly Neutral, okay? But if this little matte setup is not really your jam, you can throw on any other type of matte. I took this palette also with me to homecoming. I wore it to the game. My colors from my school, where I went to school, is FAMU, and the colors are orange and green. So I took my Viseart Dark Mattes, which is also a staple in my collection, and put on this orange with a little this, and it was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. So this is just such a fun palette. The quality was just amazing. And these are really great because we have seen a lot of multi-chromes. We've seen a lot of shimmer palettes lately. So this definitely stood out. Now these two little palettes are, oh my gosh, I love these so much. Are you kidding me? I am so happy I bought this collection. I love these. Okay, when I say I love these. These make me so happy. I used to watch Scooby when I was a child. But like, even if I wasn't into Scooby-Doo, these color stories are amazing. And you already know I love purple and I love green shadow, and I love purple and green shadow together. And the formula is so good, and the price point was even better. Each palette was like less than 20. First of all, I got, I think, both palettes for like $36. Everything in this little Scooby-Doo collection was less than $20. $20 or less. I think that is a fabulous price point. You have like kind of like the velveteen cardboard. This is right here embossed. You have Scooby right here. And this particular palette, I feel like, you know, this is a collab with Glamlite, if I didn't say that. You know, this is more a little bit maybe daytime appropriate, but I've had so much fun wearing these purples, and you got some duochrome shifts and beautiful mattes. The mattes are super pigmented. Like, you're not going to have a problem layering these. You know, if you want to just kind of maybe pull in a brown or something, or a lighter plum, just to kind of make the look a little bit more daytime appropriate and not go so bold, I think that that's very doable, you know. But the shimmers, these shimmers are amazing. Now, the first time I tried Glamlite was earlier this year. I tried the Martini collection because it was on sale, so I got the chocolate martini and dirty olive martini. I thought that those particular shimmers were really nice, very opulent and shiny on the eyes, but I also felt like they were a little hard to pick up, you know? These, not a problem. You can use a finger, you can use a brush, it's going to be okay. The mattes, they blend so well, don't have a problem. Wonderful palette. Then we also have the second palette, which is a little bit deeper in color story, okay? I did wear, yes, did I wear this sword? I did, but I wore this. Did I? Yes, I wore this shade, okay? And I did these two mattes with this. And it worked for work, okay? It wasn't too dark. It was just right on my eyes. And super smoky. Really, really beautiful. At first, I was just going to get one. And then I was like, oh, I saw the price. And then I saw the bundle. And I'm really glad I got both, because I have a lot of fun just like mixing and matching with both of these. So I really look forward to wearing these palettes. I'm like, oh, I'm more my Scooby-Doo palettes. You know what I mean? And then maybe sometimes I switch, or maybe sometimes I just don't get up early enough to do my makeup. But yeah. So we have one more palette. And it's actually the palette I have on my eyes. And this is the Follow Your Dreams palette. So this is Saint Angels and Sinners with Smeek Beyonce. Now, Smeek, honey, you did the bomb job on curating this eyeshadow palette. This is what I have on right now. Very golden, very green. This right here is the shade, very antique green, followed with this shade and this right here. So, and then I popped on my Boss Lady lipstick. Yeah, where is it? By the lip bar. So this is what I have on. I feel like I almost need another one. I'm like, this is, you know, I've had it for a while. But Boss Lady, I know I'm like digressing here, but Boss Lady is like the reds of the reds, okay? It's one of those red shades, kind of like the Fenty Uncensored red, that first Stunner paint that she came out with. Like this and that red are like a red that I have never seen look bad on any skin complexion. You could be like the fairest to the fair person, the deepest to the deep, and it looks good, okay? So this is Boss Lady. In case you were wondering, by the lip bar. You can pick it up at Target or you can go on their website, you know. So like I said, this is the Saint Angel Sinners palette. The color story, beautiful, super unique, different, little edgy, neutral, pops of color, grungy, everything I like in a palette. Good formula, unique matte shades like here and here and here. And then like this little whole row, it looks different. I'm not sitting here like, why she put both in here? Because no, they don't look the same. You know what I mean? This one is definitely a little bit more texture. Sometimes it can be a little harder to work with. This is one of my favorite shades right here. It does give like that blue-brown feels, but a little bit different. So I really do appreciate it. This purple right here, oh my gosh, so beautiful. So the pop of orange, I think she just did a really great job on this palette. Really solid color stories. The formula is actually really solid too, which makes it even better. So that is why it's in my favorite palettes of 2022. So that is all I have for 2022. I think that is a good amount. I think that's a great amount of palettes that I actually, I'm not saying that everything else I didn't love, but these were my favorites. These were the things that I thought about. I was like, yes, I want to wear that palette. Yes, I want to take that palette with me to travel. Yes, I want to wear this palette today. Okay, I'm gonna figure out my outfit so I can wear that one again, you know? So I just really have fun with these particular core palettes. And I like the other ones too, but like I said, these were like the ride or dies for the year. And I kind of feel like, you know, well, a few of them, I don't know. It was really like the top of the year and the end of the year. The middle kind of fell flat for me when I think about these palettes. Like, honestly, it's really like stuff came out at the top or it came out at the end. So let me know down below what you love for the year of 2022. Did you have any of these palettes? What were your favorite palettes? Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video. And subscribe to my channel because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know how we got to end the dance. You already know how we got to end the video around here. We got to hit it with the chair dance, okay? Chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. Hey, hey, chair dance. Chair dance. Hey. All right, y'all. Bye.